The hook, it's not a meteor. It's not ours. NASA just captured something on their space camera. A shape, fast, glowing. Not a meteor, not a satellite, not anything we've launched. It blinked into view, hovered, then disappeared. No heat trail, no debris, no explanation. So, what did NASA just see? A space glitch? Or something watching us? It was 3:17 a.m. UTC, high above Earth. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory was monitoring solar flares. But instead of capturing the sun's activity, it caught something else. Something wrong. A glowing, disc-shaped object moved across the camera feed. Not burning, not falling. Controlled, deliberate, silent. For a few seconds, it hovered, then darted out of frame at an impossible speed. Too fast for any known aircraft. Too smooth for any natural object. It moved with intelligence, like it knew it was being watched. NASA quickly cut the feed. The video was quietly archived, but the internet noticed. A few space watchers caught it live. They clipped it, uploaded it. An identified object near Earth. The titles read. Reddit exploded. Twitter theorized. UFO forums lit up like wildfire. Everyone asked the same thing. If it's not a meteor, and it's not one of ours, then what the hell is it? The shape wasn't random. It reflected light in a way that suggested smooth, curved metallic surfaces. Some thought it looked like a classic saucer. Others said it resembled a high-tech drone. But no drone moves like that. No drone disappears like that. Not even in 2025. Was it a glitch? A hoax? NASA said nothing. And when the silence grows louder than the answers, that's when the questions begin. Here's what we know. NASA's feed was real. The object was real. The motion, unexplainable. It behaved outside the limits of physics. No propulsion signature. No heat plume. Not falling maneuvering. Like it wasn't from here. This wouldn't be the first time. In 1997, thousands of people saw massive lights hover over Phoenix, Arizona. In 2004, U.S. Navy pilots chased a tic-tac UFO off the coast of San Diego. In 2021, the Pentagon released footage of unidentified aerial phenomena and admitted, "We don't know what they are." So is this just the next sighting? Or is something ramping up? Some say it's a probe. Others believe it's surveillance. And then there are those who whisper, "They've always been here." What if this object isn't new? What if it's just the first time we're seeing it on camera? What else has NASA recorded and never released? Imagine this. A silent object just outside Earth's orbit, monitoring, observing. Not a threat, not yet. Just watching. Why now? Why so close? Is this a classified military drone? A foreign satellite? An ancient alien probe awakening after millennia? Or worse, is it the beginning of something much, much bigger? Whatever it is, NASA saw it. They filmed it. And then they said nothing. Not denial. Not confirmation. Just silence. And that's the loudest thing of all. The question remains, if that object wasn't a meteor, if it wasn't a glitch, and if it wasn't made by us, then what put it there? The UFO that NASA couldn't ignore. March 11th, 3:17 a.m. UTC. It began like any other data scan. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory, nicknamed the Sun Watcher, was locked in on solar radiation. The mission: monitor flares, study plasma arcs, and track space weather. But then something strange entered the frame. Something not from the sun. Something moving too fast. Caught on camera, but not from Earth. NASA's SOHO Solar and Heliospheric Observatory spacecraft was positioned 1.5 million kilometers from Earth. It's meant to capture solar storms, radiation bursts, and magnetospheric pulses. But this time, it captured a flash, not from the sun, not from the earth, but from something in between. A bright object appears. In the feed, a glowing object darts from the lower left corner of the frame. Bright, controlled, focused. It wasn't falling. It was flying. It looks metallic, one amateur astronomer commented on X, formerly Twitter. And it's not debris. That's not how debris moves. The object pulsed almost as if it were alive, and then it did something no natural object should do. It stopped, changed direction, then accelerated. Is that even possible? In space, most objects follow Newton's first law, a straight line path unless something forces a change. But this object broke the rule. It veered. No orbit, no rotation, just intelligent motion. And not just once. Multiple changes of direction. Mid-flight, mid-video, mid-thought. Who or what controls a craft like that? The spacecraft that filmed it. Let's be clear, this isn't some cheap satellite. The Soho Observatory is a $1.27 billion joint NASA project. Its cameras are designed to catch invisible radiation, UV bursts, and fine dust ejections, not flying objects, which makes this capture even more disturbing, because the feed wasn't meant to see something like this. But it did. Frame-by-frame breakdown. Space analysts slowed the footage to 1/100th speed, enhanced the brightness, stabilized the edges. They saw a defined shape, non-random acceleration, a light signature inconsistent with known propulsion. What was more shocking? The object cast a faint shadow on solar particles. That means it wasn't an illusion. It wasn't a glitch. It had mass. NASA's response: silence. Shortly after the clip went viral, NASA removed the raw data file from their website. No explanation, no public comment, no denial, just gone. But not before digital sleuths saved it. This is how we know something's real, one Redditor wrote. When it vanishes from official records, it's just a satellite. Really. NASA later issued a low-key response in a side press note. They called it likely orbital debris. But space experts weren't convinced. Debris doesn't stop mid-flight, said Dr. Emily Warner, astrophysicist from JPL. It doesn't change direction. It doesn't emit light and pulses. So, what was it? A malfunctioning probe? A cloaked drone? Or something not from this world? This isn't the first time. Believe it or not, NASA has filmed things like this before. Let's look back. ISS UFO footage 2016. Live feed from the International Space Station captured a glowing orb moving across Earth's horizon. Just as it reached the edge of frame, the feed cut out. NASA blamed signal loss. The timing, perfect. Hubble Unknown Light Flash 2012. While photographing deep space, the Hubble telescope recorded a flash of light. The coordinates didn't match any star, comet, or known event. When asked about it, NASA simply said, nothing of interest. But astronomers disagreed. Apollo 16 missioned the floating object. During their return trip to Earth, astronauts recorded a strange, tumbling metallic object following the module. NASA dismissed it as a piece of insulation. But astronauts weren't so sure. It wasn't random. It kept pace with us. Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke, patterns emerging. It's easy to write off one video, or two, or three, but 10, 20, across decades, from multiple space agencies, astronauts, and observatories. That's no longer coincidence. That's a pattern. Why would NASA hide it? Let's play devil's advocate. Why not show the truth? Fear of public panic, political fallout, technological secrets, something humanity isn't ready for? Or, what if they don't even know what it is? Alien surveillance or human testing? There are two main camps in this debate. Camp 1, extraterrestrial observation. They believe this was a UFO probe sent to monitor solar activity, space behavior, or even us. Passive, watching, learning. Camp 2, secret government tech. They believe this was a test flight of reverse-engineered alien tech, part of a deep black military program, meant to operate unseen until it was accidentally recorded. Which one makes you more uncomfortable? Always watching, but for what? One question keeps coming up. Why are these sightings increasing now? Is it because our technology is better? They're getting closer. Something bigger is coming. Are they mapping us, studying us, or warning us? Connections to ancient sightings. The movement of this March 11th object mirrors reports from ancient texts. The fire wheels described in Ezekiel's vision. The sky boats in ancient India's Vimana scriptures. The flying shields seen in Roman battle accounts. Coincidence? Or have they always been here? What do you believe? Are these sightings simply misunderstood science? Or are we being slowly, deliberately exposed to the truth? Imagine this. You're in NASA's control room. You see the object. You know it's real, but you're told to delete it. Would you obey? Or leak it to the world? One sight, 1,000 questions. Who controls the object? Where did it come from? Why now? What's next? NASA may have seen a light, but what they really captured was a secret, and that secret is still flying. Next up, in Part 3, we explore a case that shook America. Thousands of people, one night sky, and one UFO formation that refused to be ignored. Phoenix lights the night America looked up and never forgot. The Phoenix lights the night thousands saw something impossible. One sky, one night, thousands of witnesses. March 13th, 1997, Arizona. It started just after 7:30 p.m. Phones lit up. 911 calls flooded in. People stepped outside and froze. Above them hovered a shape, massive, silent, unexplainable. What did they see? It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't a formation of jets. It was a triangle, huge, dark, covering the stars, as if something was blocking the sky itself. From Henderson to Phoenix, the sightings began in Henderson, Nevada. A retired police officer saw a row of lights moving in total silence. They weren't blinking. They weren't swaying. They were perfectly aligned. By 8:30 p.m., the lights had moved over Prescott, Arizona, then Glendale, then Phoenix. Witnesses described a craft the size of a football field or bigger. It moved so low you could feel it, and then it vanished. No sound, no trace. How many people saw it? Over 20,000 people reported the same thing. That's not a mistake. That's not mass hallucination. That's something real. Doctors, pilots, police, children, elderly, all gave nearly identical descriptions. It was like a wall of stars moving across the sky. Eyewitness, Phoenix. Was it military? The U.S. Air Force claimed the lights were flares dropped from A-10 Warthog jets. But the timing didn't match. Neither did the formation, or the silence, or the sheer size of the object. People weren't seeing flares. They were seeing something structured. Pilots saw it too. Even Arizona Governor Fife Symington, a former Air Force officer, initially dismissed the incident with a joke, but years later, he changed his tune. As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can say that this craft did not resemble any man-made object. Gov. Fife Symington, 2007. He saw it, up close, and he was scared. It was enormous. It was completely silent, and it defied explanation. The flight path mapped and verified. Amateur astronomers and radar experts tracked the object's path. Size estimated between 600 feet to over a mile wide. Speed, slow hovering, sometimes motionless. Sound, none. Shape, triangular with 5 visible lights. No sonic boom, no heat signature, no radar signature, yet thousands saw it. What could it have been? Let's explore the theories. 1. Secret military aircraft. Some say it was a classified U.S. aircraft, possibly the TR-3B, a black triangle with anti-gravity propulsion. But why fly it over one of the largest U.S. cities during prime time in full view of thousands? That's not a test. That's a message. Mass hallucination. Psychologists offered another idea, a psychological phenomenon. People saw what they wanted to see. But can 20,000 people hallucinate the same object in multiple cities, across multiple hours from different angles? That's not hallucination. That's contact. Extraterrestrial craft. Others believe the truth is simple. It wasn't ours. It wasn't human. It was a craft from somewhere else. Designed to observe, not attack, not reveal, just appear and then vanish. And now it's happening again. The NASA sighting from March 11, 2025. The shape, triangular. The movement, silent, hovering, then darting away. The resemblance to the Phoenix lights, undeniable. What if it's not random? What if the same craft is back? Same structure, same flight behavior, same silence, same mystery, patterns across decades. Let's connect the dots. 1952 Washington, D.C. UFO flyover. 1976 Tehran UFO incident. 1980 Rendlesham Forest, UK. 1997 Phoenix lights. 2000 for USS Nimitz TIC-TEC sighting. 2021 Pentagon UAP report. 2025 NASA's camera capture. Same profile. Same questions, same denials. So, what are we looking at? Let's break it down. If it's human, why the secrecy? Why no confirmation after 25 years? If it's alien, why show up only at night? Why reveal themselves just enough to vanish again? If it's surveillance, what are they watching for? The Phoenix lights never left us. Maybe that night in 1997 wasn't just a what-time event. Maybe it was the beginning, a probe, a test, a moment in history where we saw something we weren't supposed to see. And NASA's new footage, it's not the start of a mystery, it's the continuation of one. What if it comes back? Would we recognize it? Would we respond? Or would we again look up in silence and wonder what's really out there? Let's ask the questions NASA won't. Why is the shape always triangular? Why does it always move silently? Why are official explanations always weak or absent? Who benefits from us not knowing the truth? Is it all connected? The 1997 Phoenix lights, the 2025 NASA camera footage, the dozens of whistleblowers, the redacted government reports. Are we seeing pieces of one giant puzzle, one that no one wants us to solve? Final thought, a sky that hides answers. On March 13, 1997, thousands of people stood beneath the stars. What they saw changed their lives. Some were afraid, some were thrilled, most were confused, but none of them forgot. And now, as NASA's camera captures something eerily familiar, we're reminded of that night. Maybe they were never gone. Maybe they're still watching. And maybe they're waiting. I flew close to it. It wasn't ours. The pilot who chased a UFO. Imagine this. You're flying at 20,000 feet over the Pacific Ocean. Radar shows something impossible. No known aircraft, no expected trajectory. You lock on, you accelerate, and then you see it. USS Nimitz encounter November 14, 2004. It wasn't a drone, it wasn't a jet, and it definitely wasn't from Earth. Commander David Fravor, U.S. Navy pilot. This is not science fiction. This is military record. A real mission, a real pilot, a real object, unidentified. The TIC-TC UFO. It's now legendary, but it started like routine training. The USS Princeton, a Navy cruiser, had tracked an unknown object descending from 80,000 feet to 20,000 in under a second. Let that sink in. 80,000 to 20,000 feet. In less than a second. No sonic boom, no heat, no wings, no explanation. Fravor's mission, intercept. 2 F-18 Super Hornets were sent out. Commander Fravor was one of the pilots. What he saw changed his life forever. It looked like a white TIC-TC, he recalled. Smooth, no wings, no exhaust, no markings. It was moving erratically, then it began mirroring us. They circled it. It circled them back, like it was aware, breaking the laws of physics. The object made sharp turns no human pilot could survive. It moved in jerks like a video skipping frames. And then, it shot off. In a flash. A blur. Gone. Fravor described it as the most bizarre flight behavior he had ever seen. It didn't fly. It jumped, like it bent space itself. No explanation. No denial. Here's where it gets stranger. Fravor reported everything. It was documented. Multiple radar systems confirmed the contact. Infrared cameras caught it on tape. Video exists. You've probably seen it. The FLIR 1 clip. Even the Pentagon authenticated it. But what did they say? We don't know what it is. No lies, no answers. Just nothing. The government response, quiet panic. For over a decade, the incident was buried. Until 2017. When the New York Times published an explosive report, Glowing Auras and Black Money, the Pentagon's mysterious UFO program. The video was leaked. The pilot went public, and for the first time, the world saw what he saw, an object flying beyond the reach of known science. How does this connect to NASA's recent footage? Let's compare. NASA Camera 2025 USS Nimitz 204. Shape glowing, disc-like TIC-TC oval. Flight nonlinear, fast, sudden, jerky. Techno propulsion, no wings, no heat. Reaction, silent removal, silent confusion. Different years, different agencies. Same impossible behavior. This wasn't the first pilot sighting. Fravor is not alone. What? Ryan Graves, U.S. Navy pilot, 2014. His squadron encountered UAPs every day for months off the East Coast. We'd see them hovering, then suddenly, they'd climb to 30,000 feet in a blink. CNDR. Chad Underwood filmed Gimbal UFO 2015. This thing rotated in place. There's no explanation for that movement. Call Ostra Santa Maria, Peru, 1980. I fired 64 rounds at it. They passed right through. All these pilots are saying the same thing. No wings, no propulsion. Not ours. Not theirs. Not from here. And these aren't conspiracy theorists. They're trained military officers with years of experience, trusted to carry missiles, lead missions, defend nations. And they're terrified. What Fravor told Congress. In 2023, Fravor testified under oath. These things operate in our airspace with total impunity. If Russia or China had this, we'd already be at war. He warned that whatever this technology, it's so far ahead, we may never catch up. It's not just advanced, it's otherworldly. So, what could it be? Let's explore the main theories again. Reverse engineered tech. Some believe these are secret US prototypes, possibly derived from crashed UFOs. But Fravor denies it. If we had that, I'd be flying it. Alien drones. Many believe these craft are automated probes sent by extraterrestrial civilizations. They don't need pilots. They don't need weapons. They just need eyes and time. Interdimensional visitors. A growing theory suggests they aren't from space, but another dimension. What we see is just a glimpse, a shadow bleeding into ours. Sound insane? Then why do so many credible pilots keep seeing them? The watchers above. Some experts believe what we saw on March 11th wasn't a threat. It was a probe, a scout, an eye in the sky, sent by an intelligence not of this world. The object exhibited all the behavior of reconnaissance, says Dr. Leora Mehdi, astrophysicist and SETI advisor. It circled, it paused, it aligned itself, it gathered. Where could it come from? One possible origin. Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to ours, just over 4.3 light-years away. Too far for us. But for a civilization thousands, or even millions of years ahead. A short hop, if they've mastered quantum travel, or wormholes, or folded space drives, explains physicist Daniel Ho. They could be observing Earth in real time without ever leaving home. Why would they monitor us? The theory goes deeper. These aren't tourists. They're not here for fun. They're scouting progress, tracking behavior, watching what we build and what we destroy. Specifically, nuclear technology, nukes, UAPs, and a pattern. Ever notice how UFO sightings spiked near nuclear facilities? Los Alamos, Fukushima, Chernobyl, Malmstrom Air Force Base, Roswell near testing grounds. Wherever there's atomic energy, they appear. Coincidence or concern? It's like they're watching our nuclear toys, says retired Air Force officer Richard Doty. Maybe they've seen what happens when a species plays with fire. They come when we advance. Some researchers mapped UFO spikes against Earth's technological milestones. 1945 first atomic bomb test gives Roswell in 1947. 1957 first satellite in orbit gives wave of UAP sightings in Europe. 1969 moon landing gives global sightings skyrocket. 20,042,024 drone tech plus AI warfare gives TIC-TC gimbal NASA footage. Every time we reach a new threshold, they return. They don't want to stop us, says author Helene Vargo. But they do want to know when we become dangerous. So, what are these probes? The craft captured by NASA and others like it may not be ships. They may be machines, unmanned, autonomous, programmed to observe silently and send data home, just like we send probes to Mars. But theirs are smarter, faster, invisible when they want to be. What we call UFOs might be their version of a Mars rover, only better. CGI models based on eyewitnesses. Artists and AI have tried to reconstruct what the craft might look like. Features based on eyewitnesses. Metallic, seamless surface. No visible engines or exhaust. Black, mirror-like texture that reflects starlight faintly. Capable of sharp angles, sudden acceleration. Hovering. One CGI animation shows a triangular probe slowly rotating over Earth's orbit. Its bottom pulses with light. Then it accelerates. Instantly, gone. Sound familiar? Signs of intelligence. The way it reacted to human technology is key. NASA's camera moved. It moved too. Its flight was deliberate. It avoided satellite paths. It appeared only when our cameras were running and left before full lock-on. Almost like It knew, but why stay hidden? If they're peaceful, why not say hello? If they're advanced, why remain shadows? Here are three chilling possibilities. 1. Prime directive. They follow a non-interference rule. Observe only, no contact, until we evolve. 2. We're not ready. They've studied us and concluded they're not stable yet. Too violent, too tribal, too unpredictable. 3. They've been here before, and last time, we didn't handle it well. Ancient echoes of the same watchers. Some believe these probes aren't new. They've been here for centuries. They point to Sumerian tablets describing sky boats, Egyptian carvings of flying discs, Hindu texts describing Vimanas flying cities, medieval paintings with glowing orbs in the sky. Were these early visitations, or ancient versions of the same probes? Watching, learning, returning. Are they scanning us now? The object filmed by NASA flew low over the ionosphere. That's the region where Earth's electromagnetic activity is strongest, perfect for intercepting our radio waves, scanning nuclear signatures, mapping energy grids. Some say it's like a cosmic CT scan, one that maps Earth systems in real time. What if they're mapping humanity? Not just Earth's geography, but our behavior. Every war, every detonation, every tech surge, cataloged, compared, judged, and sent back to whoever or whatever launched the probe. Could there be more of them? If we caught one, there may be hundreds. Hidden, cloaked, dormant. They don't all need to be flying. Some may be on the moon, beneath the oceans, inside asteroids, already on Earth, waiting. Other theories say it's a galactic census, a chilling theory gaining traction. Earth is part of a galactic scan and sort program. Every intelligent species reaches a tipping point. They're scanned, measured, monitored. If they pass, contact. If they fail, silence. No invasion, no war, just quiet and eventual erasure. What are they learning about us? What would you see if you watched humans right now? A planet on fire, weapons pointed at the sky, a species divided, AI learning faster than humans can control, a race that discovered nuclear fire but not emotional peace. Are we ready to meet another species? Or are we the warning? Final thought, the eye above. What if the object NASA filmed wasn't a mystery? What if it was routine, like clockwork, a scheduled check-in by the universe? We may not be alone, but we're definitely not unnoticed. We send probes to Mars to look for life. What if someone sent a probe to Earth to see if life was still worth watching? The black budget theory is it ours after all. It didn't have wings. It didn't make a sound. But what if it wasn't alien at all? Welcome to the shadows of military technology. In the deepest corners of government spending hidden from Congress and known to the public, there are projects so secret they don't officially exist. They're called black budget operations. They answer to no one. Their funds are off books. And what they build is decades ahead of what we know. What if the object NASA filmed in March was one of theirs? What if this was not alien technology, but ultra-classified human technology we weren't meant to see? Enter the TR-3B. Among conspiracy theorists, military insiders, and aviation enthusiasts, one name comes up over and over. TR-3B, a legendary black aircraft, triangular, silent, invisible to radar, capable of hovering, sudden acceleration, near-zero gravity maneuvers. Officially, it doesn't exist. Unofficially, too many have seen it. Leaked reports, witness sightings. Across the globe, people have described eerily similar objects. Triangular black crafts, with 3 lights at each corner, moving slowly, silently, then vanishing instantly, often spotted near Air Force bases or military zones. In 1989, an aerospace engineer named Edgar Rothschild Foch claimed he worked on reverse-engineered anti-gravity propulsion tied to a craft named TR-3B. It was nuclear-powered, he said. It created a gravity distortion field, allowing silent levitation, and it's been flying since the 90s. But if it's ours, why let us see it? This is the part that doesn't make sense. If the March object was top-secret U.S. tech, why let it fly in front of a NASA camera? NASA footage is public. The ISS live stream is open to the world. Would they accidentally let a $10 billion secret project appear on screen? Or was it intentional? Possibility 1. Controlled leak. Sometimes secrets are revealed on purpose, not to confess but to test reactions. Governments have done this before, leaking blurry photos of stealth bombers before they're declassified. Anonymous tip-offs to the media, letting footage go viral, then quietly stepping back. Could this be another case? Were they watching the public's response? Were we the experiment? Possibility 2. Deep state rivalry. What if the NASA team didn't know what they caught? Remember, NASA isn't a military agency. It's civilian. What if black budget projects are so hidden even NASA isn't briefed? Could the probe have been a test flight from a classified wing of the Air Force, or something even deeper? Some say there are private aerospace divisions within defense contractors like Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, Boeing Phantom Works, operating beyond Pentagon oversight, with budgets larger than some countries. The physics behind TR-3B. According to leaked blueprints, the TR-3B doesn't fly like a plane. It uses a magnetic field disruptor MFD. This tech manipulates gravity itself, reducing the craft's mass to near zero. With no drag and no inertia, it can hover. It can pivot in midair. It can shoot upward without G-forces crushing the pilot. Sound impossible? Maybe that's why it's still classified. Is it reverse-engineered alien tech? Now comes the twist. Some insiders believe the TR-3B wasn't built from scratch. They say it was reverse-engineered from a recovered alien craft. Back engineering from Roswell, from the Nimitz encounter, from decades of crash retrievals. We've had the tech for years, said a retired intelligence analyst. But it's not ours. We borrowed it after they left it behind. Could the craft NASA filmed be our version of a TIC-TC? Then why test it in orbit? Here's where the theory deepens. NASA's footage showed the object moving through low Earth orbit. This is not a casual place for a test flight. If it was military, it risks satellite collisions, public exposure, international detection. So why go up there? Unless they weren't testing the vehicle. They were testing the reaction. Layers of deception. Could the sighting itself be a psychological operation? Think about it. Let the world think it's alien. Watch how media and civilians respond. Measure belief, fear, denial, distraction. Adjust future disclosures accordingly. It's a game of control. Not about truth, but about managing perception. What if it's not just one project? The TR-3B might just be the tip of the iceberg. Insiders talk about other names. Or project. Quantum Scout. HEUC's highly advanced unmanned craft. Zero-point platforms. Some say we've had anti-gravity tech since the 1980s. Others claim private military contractors are far ahead of national governments. The deeper you go, the blurrier it gets. Satellite forensics say otherwise. Here's the crack in the theory. Spacewatch analysts ran trajectory models. The object's behavior didn't match any known propulsion system. It bent direction without thrust. It pulsed in a way consistent with energy fluctuation, not engine combustion. So if it's man-made, it's made with technology we don't publicly understand, which leads to a terrifying conclusion. Either we've been lied to about what our governments can do, or this wasn't ours after all. Then what's the truth? We're left with three unsettling scenarios. It's black budget military tech, and the public was never supposed to see it. B, it's alien, and we're blaming it on ourselves to avoid panic. C, it's both. Human-built but alien-inspired. Born from wreckage. Grown in shadows. So why now? Why are these objects appearing more often? Why let them be filmed? Why let them slip through the cracks? Here are some theories. Desensitization, slowly preparing us for disclosure. Cold War 2.0, showing power without admitting it. Cosmic checkpoint, letting them know we've caught up. Each idea opens more questions. Each answer just another door. Final thought, if we built it, who's really in control? If humans made this craft, who gave them the blueprint? If governments have this power, why hide it from the world? And if we're flying craft that defy physics, what else have we mastered? Or worse, what else are we hiding? Cosmic warning, a message before disaster. The object didn't come to land. It didn't try to hide. It appeared, moved silently, then vanished. But maybe it wasn't here to watch us. Maybe it wasn't here to spy or test. Maybe it came to warn us. A cosmic red alert. Some researchers, spiritual thinkers, and rogue scientists have proposed a chilling idea. The unidentified flying object captured by NASA wasn't a spacecraft. It was a signal, a cosmic red flag. A warning from something or someone far beyond us. A message probe, not a ship. What if this was never a vehicle? What if it was a kind of beacon? A cosmic messenger dropped into Earth's orbit for us to see but not understand. A message not in words, but in action, in presence. Think of it like a flare fired into the sky. But this time the sky fired back. Is Earth about to experience a shift, a catastrophe, a test? Echoes of Arrival and 2001. The theory draws parallels with science fiction, but that's where science often begins. In Arrival 2016, an alien race sends ships not to invade but to share language, warn of war, and unite humanity. In 2001, A Space Odyssey, a black monolith appears before mankind makes a leap from ape to man, from man to star traveler. Each object wasn't technology. It was a trigger, an event, a test, a warning. What if the object filmed by NASA is exactly that? Anomalies began after its appearance. Here's where it gets strange. Hours after the object appeared in low Earth orbit, magnetic field sensors near the South Atlantic anomaly spiked. Solar flare intensity increased, disrupting satellite comms. Several geomagnetic observatories in Finland and Canada went dark for 9 minutes. Coincidence? Or a ripple effect? What if this object didn't just appear? It activated something. Stranger phenomena that followed. Within 72 hours of the sighting, the skies above Istanbul turned electric green during a thunderstorm. Thousands of birds fell dead in central Mexico. A mysterious hum at 53 Hz was reported across parts of Alaska, Scotland, and New Zealand. Again, all dismissed as natural. But the timing, too perfect. Did it trigger a countdown? Some believe the craft was not just a warning but a countdown marker. A signal that something is coming. Soon. Maybe. An incoming object. A cosmic alignment. a natural planetary reset, or an event that tests humanity's readiness. Ancient parallels, warnings in the sky. This wouldn't be the first time strange objects appeared before global shifts. In 312 AD, Roman Emperor Constantine reported seeing a glowing object in the sky before the battle that changed Europe's religious future. In 1347, strange lights were recorded in the sky above Italy weeks before the Black Plague swept across Europe. In 1945, multiple Foo Fighters were seen above Japan days before the atomic bomb was dropped. What if some of these weren't coincidences? What if they were markers, messages left before the storm? Is it a warning or a test? One theory says it's not a warning at all. It's a filter, a way to see how we respond. Do we panic? Do we deny? Do we ask questions or look away? Because how we respond may determine what comes next. A civilization's first contact scorecard. Imagine a scale used by advanced civilizations. Level 0, panic, war, fear. Level 1, curiosity, cooperation. Level 2, global awareness, readiness for next contact. What if that object was the test, and we didn't even know we were being graded? What could be coming? Here are just a few of the cosmic scale threats some researchers believe may be on the horizon. New Earth asteroid impact. Several massive asteroids, including Apophis, are scheduled for near passes in the coming years. Could the object be marking one of them? Solar superstorm. A CME coronal mass ejection big enough to wipe out Earth's grids could happen at any time. Did the object know it was coming? Dimensional shift. Some believe Earth is near a frequency transition, an energetic leap. The object could be a stabilizer or a sign. Portal event. Wild theory maybe, but many ancient sites like the pyramids, Göbekli Tepe, and Angkor Wat align with celestial gates. What if this object was checking on those gates, symbols seen in the object? In frame-by-frame breakdowns, some claim to see patterns on the object's surface, circular indentations, pulsing lights in prime number sequences, a brief hexagonal flash. What do they mean? Are we missing the code? Are we even looking? Ancient prophecies and sky warnings. Old texts speak of signs in the sky before catastrophe. The book of Revelation mentions a star called Wormwood. The Hopists speak of the blue star Kachina as a warning of the end times. The Mayan Codex shows serpent-like objects descending before global flooding. Was March's object one of these signs? Modern but eternal? Why would they warn us? If this was a message from another intelligence, why help? Here's what some believe. We're part of something bigger. Earth may be a node in a cosmic network. They've done this before, helping civilizations survive extinction-level events. We matter, despite all our flaws. Maybe we're rare. Or, maybe, they've seen this planet collapse before, and they don't want to watch it happen again. What can we do? That's the real question. If this was a warning, we may only have two choices. Ignore it. Wake up to our fragility, to the fragility of Earth, to the patterns repeating. What if this object didn't come to save us? Final thought. Not everything from the sky is a threat. Some things fall, some things crash, but some things simply appear, to be seen, to be understood, or just to be felt. This object didn't speak, but maybe it didn't have to. The leaked truth, CIA files, and the UAP report. In 2021, something unprecedented happened. The Pentagon, the most powerful military institution on Earth, looked at the public and said three words: we don't know. The 2021 UAP report, what they admitted, after decades of denial, dismissal, and cover-ups. The U.S. Department of Defense released a 9-page document, Preliminary Assessment, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. It was meant to calm fears, reassure the public, offer clarity. It did the opposite. The numbers that shocked the world. Out of 144 UAP unidentified aerial phenomena incidents analyzed, only one was explained. 143 remained unidentified. Many showed advanced flight capabilities. Some appeared to defy known physics. They were too fast, too agile, too perfectly maneuvered, too non-human. What kind of object can accelerate at 7,000 miles per hour? Without wings, without sound, without a heat signature? The report gave no answer. Not ours, not theirs. That's the part that matters. These weren't Chinese drones. They weren't Russian experiments. The Pentagon said clearly, the majority of these UAPs remain unexplained and display characteristics inconsistent with U.S. or foreign technology. Read that again. Even the most advanced military minds on Earth don't know what these things are. Why was the report released? So why now? Why break decades of silence? Many suspect the real reason wasn't transparency, but pressure. Whistleblowers, leaks, pilots speaking out, footage they could no longer bury. From the USS Princeton, USS Nimitz, and other naval operations, real-time radar data began surfacing. Congress had to act. So they asked the Pentagon for answers. Instead, they got questions. What else is in the files? In the full version of the UAP report, classified, but partially leaked, insiders say there are radar locks on objects vanishing from one point and appearing miles away instantly, visual sightings by pilots that match infrared sensor data, physical interference with nuclear launch systems, and even more chilling, biological effects on witnesses. Yes, you read that right. Multiple reports detail physical side effects in people exposed to UAPs. Radiation burns, nausea, distorted time perception, memory loss, psychic impressions. These aren't sci-fi stories. They're listed in real military briefings, including in documents obtained by the Black Vault, a declassified database of CIA and SA and DoD files. Could this object be one of them? The glowing object captured by NASA's camera on March 11th perfectly fits the description of UAPs in the Pentagon's report. Sudden directional shifts, high-velocity movement without thrust, no visible propulsion, no sonic boom, no atmospheric disturbance. In fact, it behaved better than anything described in the report. And yet silence. Despite everything, NASA released a single statement. It's likely orbital debris. But independent analysts quickly refuted that. No matching object in orbital databases. No satellite decommissioned in that trajectory. Flight path was calculated, not random. So the question remains, was NASA told to say that? The intelligence community divided. Sources inside the U.S. government say not everyone agrees. There are two camps. One, the debunkers, believe all UAPs can be explained by tech, weather, or perception, push balloon narratives, and optical illusions. Two, the believers, believe we're encountering non-human intelligence, believe disclosure must happen before it's too late. The UAP report was a compromise, enough to admit the phenomenon is real, but not enough to say what it is. Truth hidden in plain sight, but only if you know where to look. Related documents that were quietly declassified. As the UAP report dropped, other files were released quietly, including CIA memos from the 1980s detailing UFOs over nuclear bases, NSA intercepts of anomalous radar objects during the Cold War, Air Force logs of pilots chasing glowing spheres and losing control. FBI notes mentioning recovered materials from unknown origins. They didn't make headlines. They weren't promoted, but they exist, and they paint a story, one the public was never meant to read. What is the government protecting? Some possibilities: mass panic, national security secrets, black budget tech confusion, or an admission we're not in control. If the objects aren't ours, and they aren't theirs, then who do they belong to? Or worse, what if they belong to no one? Whistleblowers who risk everything. Names are starting to surface. Luis Elizondo, former head of ATIP Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, claims the phenomenon is real and not man-made. David Grush, intelligence officer, who told Congress the U.S. is in possession of craft of non-human origin. Commander David Fravor, Navy pilot who chased the TIC-TAC object in 2004, described it as moving in ways that broke physics. These aren't tinfoil hat theorists. They are decorated, trained professionals, trusted with national secrets. And they're saying, something is up there, and it's not from here. Why this moment matters. The object filmed by NASA is not just another sighting. It comes after the 2021 UAP report, dozens of leaks, thousands of pages of non-public documents, congressional hearings, NASA launching its own UAP research division, disclosure, contact, revelation. No one knows, but the pieces are coming together, and one day soon it won't be deniable anymore. Final thought: when governments admit nothing but say everything, sometimes the loudest truth is whispered. Sometimes the biggest confessions are in the details they hope no one reads. The 2021 UAP report didn't solve the mystery. It amplified it. 143 events, no explanation, and counting. If it were you, would you believe? Imagine this. You're watching the skies. Suddenly, something appears. Something no one can explain. What would you think? Would you say, it's secret human technology just not public yet? It's tempting. Governments have hidden tech before. Stealth jets, invisible drones, experimental aircraft. So why not this? The aliens are watching us. The universe is vast. Billions of stars. Countless planets. Maybe we're not alone. Maybe they've arrived. Watching silently. Waiting. See, the government is hiding something. What if it's neither human nor alien? What if they know the truth, but won't share it? What if the silence is louder than any announcement? What would you do? Would you research obsessively? Talk about it to friends? Feel fear? Feel excitement? Hide your thoughts? Demand answers? The human reaction. This is more than an object in the sky. It's about trust, belief, curiosity. It shakes what we know. It pushes our boundaries. It makes us question. What is real? What do we know? What do we refuse to see? Doubt and hope, a constant battle. Belief isn't easy. Skepticism protects us, but hope drives us. We want to believe we're not alone. We want to understand, but fear keeps us silent. The global perspective. Around the world, people see lights, witness strange events, ask the same questions. In Russia, in Brazil, in India, the unknown unites us. It crosses borders. It breaks barriers. If it were you, what would you want? Proof, answers, or just to be heard? The puzzle is still incomplete. No matter what side you take, one fact remains: this mystery isn't going away. The sightings, the reports, the leaked documents, they are increasing. Your belief shapes your reality. If you believe in aliens, you see signs. If you believe in secret tech, you look for clues. If you believe in cover-ups, you question science. All are valid. All are part of the story. What will you choose? To believe, to question, to remain silent? The sky awaits your answer. Could the truth be hidden right before our eyes? What if everything you think you know is just a fraction of the story? What if the reality of UFOs, of these mysterious objects, is far stranger than anything we've been told? Insiders speak out. Several former intelligence officers, whistleblowers, and government insiders have whispered the same chilling truth. What the public knows about UFOs is just the tip of the iceberg. Layers of secrecy run deep. The iceberg's mass is submerged, unseen, unspoken, blackout redactions, and classified files. Look at the documents released. See the pages with entire paragraphs blacked out, sentences wiped clean, names erased, codes censored. What's being hidden? Why these blanks? Is it coincidence or control? Some believe that what's leaked is carefully curated, crafted to mislead or pacify. Selected truths with the sharpest edges dull. Important facts buried beneath layers of disinformation. Coincidences that defy explanation. The glowing object caught on NASA's camera. A space junk, they say, but no orbital data supports that. Other sightings dismissed as weather balloons or lens flares. But hundreds, even thousands of witnesses disagree. Why dismiss what can't be explained? Is the dismissal a tactic, a curtain to obscure reality, piecing together the puzzle? From Roswell to Phoenix Lights, from Project Blue Book to the Pentagon's UAP report, the dots connect. But the full picture remains just out of reach. A global pattern of silence. It's not just one country. It's not just NASA or the Pentagon. Every major power has stories. Every intelligence agency has files. Yet, public discourse is muted. Questions are avoided. Evidence is ignored. Why? What are they afraid of? Some theorize disclosure would cause panic. National security would be compromised. Powerful interests want to keep control. Or worst of all, the truth challenges everything we believe. A history of cover-ups. Think back. The Roswell incident in 1947, first labeled a weather balloon, decades later revealed as something else. The 1950s Project Blue Book, debunking UFOs but hiding reports of extraordinary technology. Decades of denials now proven false by leaked documents. Is history repeating? Are we still being fed half-truths? When silence speaks loudest, sometimes silence is a louder signal than words. The refusal to confirm, the slow drip of information, the strategic leaks, it all points to one question. What don't they want us to know? Could the truth be closer than we think? What if the object in the NASA footage isn't an anomaly at all? What if it's a message, or a test, or proof of something hidden in plain sight? The next step? We can wait, we can hope, we can demand transparency. But the clock is ticking. Are you ready to see beyond the veil? Because the real story, the one behind the cameras, the redacted files, and the secret projects, is waiting, and it's watching. Conclusion: Meteor, UFO, or a message. It came without warning, a glowing object, drifting into frame, captured not by imagination, but by the cameras of NASA. Not a story, not a myth, a real image, a real unknown. Was it watching us? Its movement was smooth, its change in direction instant, its glow pulsing with purpose, not like debris, not like anything drifting aimlessly, almost like it chose to be seen. Could it have been a meteor? Maybe. Some say yes. A chunk of rock thrown into orbit. Random, natural, harmless. But meteors don't turn. They don't pause. They don't hover. And they certainly don't reappear months later in a different orbit. Could it have been a UFO? Unidentified? Absolutely. Flying? Yes. An object? Without question. But what kind of object? Human-made? Extraterrestrial? Interdimensional? Or something else entirely? NASA called it debris, but it didn't move like debris. It didn't match any known orbital path. Its light signature, unlike anything logged before. So, we return to the question, was it really space junk? Or was it a cover story for something no one dares name? The human mind craves meaning. We want to label. We want to understand. We want closure. But sometimes, the universe doesn't give answers. It gives questions. Or was it a message? A reminder? We're not alone. A test? Will we notice? A whisper? Look closer. Maybe it wasn't a machine. Maybe it was a mirror, reflecting our fear, our wonder, our silence. What do you believe? Because in the end, the mystery isn't just in the sky. It's in you. When you look up and see something unexplainable, do you look away, dismiss it, or listen? The universe leaves clues, in lights, in shadows, in quiet moments. This object may have come and gone, but the questions it left, still orbiting. Some say it was a mistake, that it was a lens flare, a reflection, a glitch. But others say it was an invitation to see differently, to look up and feel small, to accept that some truths aren't written in textbooks, but in sky trails, in radar pings, in whispers from beyond the stars. So, what was it? A meteor, a ship, an eye, a warning, a glitch in the matrix, a tear in time, or the beginning of something humanity isn't ready to face? Fade to black, the camera cuts, the light fades, the signal gone, but somewhere, out there, it might still be watching, or maybe it's waiting. What if the answer is already inside you? The video fades, the object disappears, the mystery lingers, but one question remains. What do you think it was? A lost satellite, a classified aircraft, an extraterrestrial observer, or something we haven't even imagined yet? You've seen the footage, heard the testimonies, followed the clues. Now it's your turn. The most powerful theory might not come from a government lab, or a secret military file, or a declassified archive. It might come from you. Leave a comment below, not just to guess, but to share, to connect, to wonder, because sometimes a random thought in one person's mind becomes the piece the whole world was missing. You don't need proof to ask the right questions. Maybe the truth isn't hidden in deep space, but in open discussion. Maybe the object in the sky isn't as important as the conversation it creates. Soft background music fades in, slow, ethereal, timeless, almost like the echo of a signal that came from somewhere far, far away. A final prompt just for you. If you saw this object with your own eyes, in real time from your window, your backyard, your telescope, what would you believe? What would you feel? What would you tell the world? Don't just watch the mystery. Be part of it. Type your thoughts. All of them, even the wild ones. Especially the wild ones. Who knows? Maybe years from now, when new footage emerges, when the truth is finally revealed, we'll look back at this thread and find one of you saw it coming. Thank you for watching this far. This wasn't just a story. It was a journey through sightings, through shadows, through secrets, through space. But more than that, It was about how we respond to the unknown. And that story continues with you. The final question: what was that object? Let us know below. Not just for curiosity, but because maybe, just maybe, the answer isn't hidden in data. It's hidden in collective human insight.